Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. Oh, come, no, 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 no. Oh, sorry. Anyway, hello, once again, I'm Mr. Negron, and welcome to the Negron Show. Today we're going to be talking about history thinking skills. I thought this would be an appropriate topic given the time and some of the circumstances that have occurred recently to me that caused me to use my history thinking skills. For example, ripe bananas. I had some ripe bananas and I decided I didn't want to throw them away. That would be wasteful. So I went online and I found a couple banana bread recipes that I tried. And now I have banana bread. Cause, ripe bananas. Effect, made banana bread. Now there's a lot of other history thinking skills that we could talk about. One of them that I really want to discuss with you is something that you could do right now. We can make our own primary sources. That's right. When the question comes up on a test, give me an example of a primary source, most people will say, oh, a diary. And then usually the most common diary is the Diary of Anne Frank. Now, we're not in that type of situation, but if you started writing a journal about how you are doing during these times, what you're doing, how you feel, in the future, somebody who's making a secondary source or a book about this pandemic might draw upon your primary sources to help them describe in detail what was happening. So you can be a part of history just by making your own primary source. It doesn't take much. Every day, write your thoughts down and voila. In a week or two, you will literally have a primary source. Now, when we look at all the other things that are happening, cause and effect, we can sit there and describe what the causes are and what the effects are, causation. Now, it's important that we understand what a source is that is reliable. Remember, we're not looking at someone who's from I'm not a doctor but I have an opinion.com. We are looking for credibility. So when you're listening to your social media or the news, you need to understand that there might be bias. Where are they getting their information? If it's from I've got an opinion but I'm not a doctor.com, then you might want to decide to look elsewhere. The CDC is a really good place to find information that's probably not bias. And remember, bias is a form of prejudice. Everybody has it. When I was looking at the banana bread recipes, I was trying to determine which one would be the best tasting. Now, I opted not to use one that had vanilla in it, not because I don't like vanilla. I love vanilla. But I don't have vanilla. So my bias was based on what I had available to me. Other biases could be political. When you look at an editorial, for example, you would assume bias. Now, if you're looking at a statistic from the CDC, then you can rule out a lot of bias. However, you just have to look at the statistics and be able to use them rationally. Now, down the road, people are going to be making thesis statements about this event. They will use anecdotal or things like your primary sources, as well as clear data to form opinions that they will have to support or refute, right? Credibility is key here. When you look at your sources of information, you have to understand they might be biased. So you're going to be looking for key information that isn't biased, right? And you can find that through statistics. Normally, those tend not to be biased, but you have to figure out what source you're going to use. Again, the CDC will be a prime source for that. Now, I know you're probably getting tired of Mr. Negron talking to you on these small episodes, but it's important to note that in everyday life, you're going to be using your history thinking skills. You have to determine what the information you're getting, is it valid, or is it just somebody's attempt to, make you do something that you normally wouldn't do. For example, buy lots of toilet paper. With that being said, a short episode. Check Google Classroom for the questions that will go along with this. And our next episode will go back to the Cold War and talk about how we reacted to the threat of communism on the home front. And also on American Activity Committee, McCarthyism, and the Rosenberg trials. So until then, stay safe and have a great day. Bye.
Banana, two banana, two banana, one. All bananas playing in the bright warm sun. Slipping like a pancake, popping like a cork. Peek out, choose the rich stuff. Banana, 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 banana. Mixing up a mess of fun. Mixing up a mess of fun. Mixing up a mess of fun. Lots of fun for everyone.